Hello everybody, another installment of the Dsmp lore recap series, and I have realized that this is the last one where I actually have it pre-written. Alright, today we're going to be covering the Reconstruction era from November 16th to December 4th. On the 16th, after the entire festival happened, Tubbo called for a meeting at the Manberg Hotel for Lambergians and their supporters, the ones that were still around. So Tubbo's cabinet includes Carl, Fundy, Nikki, and Quackity, and Filza is also deemed a citizen. Man just appeared as a father. Tubbo wanted to repair L'Manberg, but he still kept the crater for the historical significance that other people don't recognize. Filza also starts his ocean monument project, and Nikki shows H-Bomb her secret underground city. Carl makes some buildings in the slums because, remember, classism. And Techno shows Filza his bunker. It's for war! The Pogtopians have also stolen all of his valuables, and I think good for them. Puffy also joins, and Eric takes down the Manberg flag, as she should, and the Golden Throne is taken away in the former castle. At this point, Eric's just assumed to be king again after that whole fiasco that happened earlier. November 7th, Quackity. 4 objectives: hang a pig in Techno's base, complete his butcher army, spread meat around Techno's base, and kill George. One of those is not like the others. Tubbo, Quackity, and Fundy also started rebuilding L'Manberg, you know, hometown. And Ghostspur is there. Okay. Fundy is like technically an orphan now since his dad's like technically dead. And so that means, you know, Techno has to kill him. Ghostspur helps L'Manberg, so everything's fine. Dandy. Fantastic. Tommy and Tubbo meet up, as they should, and Tommy is pretty hurt that Tubbo thought that he was the traitor. He ends up, though, giving Tubbo the real mellow high, so obviously there wasn't that much pain. Quackity and Fundy make plans against Techno using poisonous potatoes, because we all know how Techno gets with his potatoes. And Tubbo doesn't like this. He has the final say in everything. Filza also gives Tommy Dream's crossbow, and Ghostspur makes his house. Fundy tries to intimidate Techno. I don't know what the server has against Techno all of a sudden. Absolutely no clue. So he puts up pictures of bacon. Techno gets real sad. Everything great. Fantastic. All going according to plan. Carl, Quackity, and Sapnap also get engaged. So fiancé enjoyers, here you go. Take that morsel of happiness. And Bad makes a funeral for Schlatt. Why? Who knows? Was it needed? Probably not. November 18th. Filza finds villagers and names them Tommy. Completely forgetting about your real son, I see. And Techno moves out into the tundra. Remember this. And Schlatt goes to his funeral site. So, go Schlatt? Schlatt? Who knows? Dream goes on a griefing spree. He blames Tommy for all of it because, let's be honest, Tommy would. But Puffy sees all this and complies with Dream's whole gimmick. November 19th. Tubbo rebuilds the Kamara and he bases it off of Eric's museum. Ghostspur tells Tubbo that he has memory loss. We're getting down a slippery slope here. He thinks that Pog 2021, and he doesn't remember like the recent war or anything involving Schlatt. So all that like traumatizing things, gone. Bad puts on Schlatt's funeral. Tubbo, Fundy, Sam, H-Bomb, Jack, Quackity, Puffy, Ant, Puns, and Tommy all go. I don't understand why some of those people actually showed up. Ghostspur doesn't, understandably. Quackity vandalizes it, as he should. And most of them agree that Schlatt deserved to die in a video game. Quackity, though, he does plan to revive Schlatt. Why? I don't know why, but, you know. Bad also plans to burn Cat Disc because he thought Tommy grieved his house when Dream went on his whole griefing and blaming Tommy thing. And Quackity tells Bad, Sam, Puffy, and Puns that he wants to take L'Manberg and resurrect Schlatt as a puppet. Sam agrees to revive the body. Oh no. Ghostspur gives Quackity a book with the L'Manberg anthem written on it, but it has 2 more verses because songwriter arc. And he also shows him the new button and his library archive. So Ghostspur, did you remember the button? Or Bad and Sam think about reviving Schlatt some. It would help the Badlands, and they want more conflict, so you know what? Go for it. November 20th. Ghostspur makes his wishing well and some other pretty stuff. Cool builder. He also shows Tommy and Tubbo his What I Remember book, and kills Tommy a few times just for laughs. Sam also makes his underground puzzle room. November 21st. H-Bomb explores the stronghold, and Tubbo gives H-Bomb the role of L'Manberg's head moderator admin. This makes it seem like the characters know they're in a video game, and the only thing I can think of is Sword Art Online. So Ghostbur shows Tubbo, Jack, Sam, and Tommy his underground sewer house, kind of gross, and Carl is promoted to vice president of L'Manberg. Although he's technically was on Manberg's side, ignore that. Tubbo and Carl also make the treasury room in L'Manberg, and Quackity plans to take over Tommy's role as vice president. Getting your old seat back, I see. November 22nd. Fundy's spy diary is archived, and Jack writes a book about himself. I just remembered that's just called an autobiography. November 23rd. Philza writes about his first day on the server, and that is archived because at least people are writing this down so people like me can get it all later. Vicstar and Laserbeam also join. Why? I'm genuinely asking why. They set up Boomerville. Eric also adopts Fundy. I actually love that. He's now Prince Fundy. Iconic, and they consult Phil with all this since technically Fundy's legal guardian is Philza after Wilbur died, even though Techno and others try to say that Sleepy Boys Inc. is not canonical. Remember when I said this series gets confusing? November 24th. Ghostbur asks Phil to remake Tommy's L'Manberg house, and H-Bomb works on a place for Le Cast. Tubbo enforces his new polities and writes the first decrees. And Fundy tells Tubbo about all of his adoption efforts to get a dad back. That's really sad. Tommy makes a bulletin board for all the band things in L'Manberg. He also makes his jukebox room in Vicstar's house. Tommy antagonizes Laserbeam. He wants to get Laser banned because the man's Australian, and Tommy has hatred for anyone that is not British. Tubbo gives Ghostbur the first decree book, and Laser is killed by Ghostbur and Tommy. Ghostbur goes to Eric's museum and sees the map with L'Manberg intact. This triggers a whole bunch of memories. So Fundy tells Ghostbur about Eric's adoption plans, and he says that Phil would approve of it, since, Dad's dead. Ghostbur meets with Phil. Phil says that Fundy wants/needs a father figure in his life, so Ghostbur asks Phil about all of his past. Phil says he was good, for the most part, until the end. And Ghostbur admits that he remembers his death. He doesn't know why Phil ended up killing him. Phil, why did you agree? Why did you say yes? You could have said no. He also walks around Pogtopia, reminiscing about these new memories that just are there now. Nikki works on her underground city, and Quackity, Sam, and Puns build a restaurant. November 26th. Carl, Quackity, George, and Ponk make the second floor of Phil's L'Manberg class into Clarkson. Don't ask too many questions. And Ponk takes George's fish. George and Quackity take down the whole Lemon City's wall, and the fish ends up going into Quackity's hands. Just when you thought pets weren't going to be a whole war-like situation, they strike again. Ponk wants to take down the L'Manberg Hotel, and Lonnie visits. Dream gives her the only copy of the stall disc on the server, and she puts it into Tubbo's underchest. That was a good move. Quackity tries to kill Dream, but he's killed, and so Dream now has George's fish, which in the long run is kind of an okay thing. Laser takes the slums and the surrounding area for Boomerville. I still don't understand his purpose, but whatever. Most of the Manberg Hotel is also taken down, so chill. November 27th. Tubbo finds wanted posters for Techno, and Fundy walks through all of Ghostbur's library and reads What I Remember, and finds out that his missing mom is in it, so that's kind of awkward. Don't ask who his mom is. We tried to give Wilbur an out. We tried to let him explain it in a practical way. He said no. Eric isn't there to sign Fundy's adoption papers, so Fundy's, a tad bit upset and goes to Phil, who lets him stay with him. Ghostbur and Fundy talk it out like adults, and Ghostbur says that the last time he remembers even speaking with Fundy was when he ran for president, and anything between that period and dying isn't worth remembering. Wow! Fundy gets mad at Ghostbur, understandably, for avoiding certain topics as well as neglecting him in the past. Ghostbur quickly leaves. Ooh, not a good statement. Phil and Fundy flood the L'Manberg crater with water. Little lake action going on there. And Rambu joins. I'm gonna take that off because my voice will get muffled, and I don't have anything to fix that. Dream instantly kills him, and Rambu gets into the Holy Land, so therefore he can't get hurt, and finds Jack, Nikki, and Tommy. Puns is there too, and Quackity kills himself in front of the new member just as a little indoctrination into the chaos that will unfold. And Carl shows him around the place some. November 28th. Ponk meets with Ranboo, and Puffy creates a picnic for her date with Nikki. The two make a flower shop. Why can't everything be happy and nice like that? Tubbo and Ranboo bond some, the start of a blossoming friendship, and Ranboo tells Tubbo that he would plan to run for president of L'Manberg in the next election. Tommy and Ranboo also meet up, and Tommy robs and grieves George's house. Tommy tries to get Ranboo to help him, but Ranboo's like, hey, no, not my thing. And Dream constructs obsidian walls around L'Manberg, and this starts the whole exile conflict. Write that one down for later. Ranboo talks with Fundy and says that he plans to move into the house next to Phil. He also wants to talk to Ghostbur, touchy subject. And Ranboo and Fundy, they make an ice cream shop together. It's always when a new person joins that it's like calm for 5 seconds. Except for Connor. I don't know why he joined at that time. Dream goes to Puffy and Nikki's flower shops and gets some flowers for George. And Fundy gets angry because Dream and George are going to get married. Dream's like, no, silly, that's not what happened at all. These were definitely for you. Gentle reminder, pretty sure Dream and Fundy are still together at this point. Nikki and Puffy see these obsidian walls that have been built around L'Manberg. And Fundy, Tubbo, and Ranboo see Dream coming and committing arson at Manifold Land. He's got a long list of crimes. Dream says that L'Manberg has now been taken over by a new, unlawfully implemented government, as if the first one was lawful in the first place. And now all past treaties are obsolete. Oh my god. Nikki thinks that Tommy caused all this, which is like, I think one of the first times it wasn't really his fault. And Tubbo says that he regrets making Tommy vice president and calls for a cabinet meeting to try to resolve this conflict peacefully. It doesn't work though, so an army's mobilized. Puffy also gives Nikki a promise ring, so, they're still going strong. Praying and hoping that, everyone can just chillax for 5 seconds. November 29th, George rebuilds his house, and Tommy meets with Tubbo and says that he didn't burn George's house. Nikki did. Wow, Tommy. We don't insult the goddess. Tubbo, Tommy, and Quackity and Fundy, they have a cabinet meeting. The Tubbo administration would like to make contact with Dream, and they don't get approval for this whole new government structure. They say that Tommy deserves punishment for all of his crimes, or else more bad stuff will end up happening. And I'm not saying they're wrong, I'm just saying in this one instance, they may have miscalculated slightly. And Dream tells Tubbo that Tommy has been disturbing the peace, as if there was ever peace to begin with, and he suggests that Tommy be sent to exile. Amazing, outstanding, never been done before. Carl feels disrespected for getting left out, and so he just lets L'Mantree get griefed, and George is involved, and it's confusing. All of this escalates into a legal case. George, Carl, Nikki, and Ranboo, they all head to the courthouse. Tubbo's the judge. Tommy and George are there to make their cases. Why Tubbo is the judge again? I guess presidential power. George talks about Ranboo, and so then Ranboo's put on stand and is brought down. He says that he doesn't remember much because he has short-term memory loss. Probation is suggested, and Tommy is stripped of his title and power, and he is sent to report his actions to the SMP. Tommy and Tubbo fight over the punishment and diplomacy with Dream. Tommy tries to get rid of his sentence in that he wants Ghostbur to be president because that's a great idea. And Tubbo tells Tommy that he still has his position in his cabinet. Don't worry, everything is fine. We're just pretending that you're going to be sent to exile and doomed. Dream tells Tubbo that probation isn't enough, that there needs to be more. So they meet up a second time, and the meeting is planned for December 2nd. Tubbo makes Quackity his acting vice. So in the end, Quackity kind of got what he wanted. Tommy's power, gone. Tommy asked Tubbo not to let his nation down, not to let Ghostbur down, and to actually meet with Dream and get this all sorted out. Sapnap says that he's allied with the Dream SMP faction. He protects George. Are we surprised? No. Carl starts to take down the whole obsidian wall situation, and he wants George to help, but George is like, nah, not my thing. Dream also gives George his fish back. So that was kind of resolved peacefully, I guess. Carl tells Nikki that he took Schlatt's side during the whole Manberg vs. Polytopia war because Wilbur wasn't allowing Americans in. Tubbo tells Ranboo to take down Tommy's banned stuff wall in L'Manberg. Just quirky things. And Puffy decides to join a faction. Dream wants it. Quackity also becomes Dream's therapist, which is very humorous in my eyes. November 3rd, Connor, the person we've all forgotten about for now, I'm so sorry, makes his own nation to go against L'Manberg. Puffy also makes a mushroom house. Because remember when cottagecore was like the thing? December 1st, Tubbo prepares his meeting with Dream. And the meeting room is within the Holy Lands near the church, and therefore people can't die. And Ranboo is assigned to be timekeeper. Why they assigned him a role is pretty humorous in my eyes, seeing as he probably won't remember any of this. Jack is mad at Dream for griefing his land, and he wants to be an ally with the L'Manbergians, just to go against Dream. So Tubbo tells him to actually be mad at Tommy because he's the problem. Let's place the blame on a child. Tommy plans to evict Connor too, just because. George plans to build a rivaling city to overshadow L'Manberg as if he didn't already own the SMP. And Sap plans to burn L'Manberg to the ground. Again, George manipulates Quackity and offers to make him president, and George, Quackity, Sapnap, and Puns make a whole dirt platform in the sky to separate Party Park, Boomerville, and L'Manberg. George realizes that he technically has to be neutral, loser, but he still schemes with Quackity. Quackity shows George the underground button room and tells him not to touch the broom. This is frightfully familiar. Ranboo also starts his memory book, so now we have 2 memory books and 2 people that can't remember for anything. Quackity and George rename that whole sky-based thing Mexican L'Manberg, and Quackity is president with George as his vice president. He tries to recruit Dream. For what reason? Who knows. December 2nd, oh no, Quackity and Tubbo meet up to discuss the whole meeting situation with Dream, and Tubbo sees Mexican L'Manberg chilling in the sky, and Quackity explains what's going on there. Quackity says that the new country will make L'Manberg more valuable. Tubbo's like, sure, whatever, and lets it coexist. Tubbo is also appointed Secretary of State of that nation. Tommy meets with Quackity, Fundy, and Tubbo to get a tour of Mexican L'Manberg, and Tommy is reminded to act diplomatically as to not cause any more conflicts because, sir, you are in hot water. They go to the meeting room. Dream's there. Both sides agree to put Tommy on 3 weeks of probation. Let's see how that actually goes. Tommy threatens Dream with Spirit, Dream's horse, and he tells him to take down the walls or lose the horse again. Quackity and Fundy agree that Tommy is in the right in the situation and that Dream has no power. Dream starts to take down the walls and then starts building them up, and he wants everyone to be put in them. Zaptap and Puns are going to control it. Dream says that he doesn't care about Spirit and he just wants the discs. He tells Tubbo that in 3 days he'll make his own decision, and rightfully Tommy and Tubbo get mad, not for the reasons you'd think, and Tubbo calls Tommy selfish and says that because of him, there may be a war. Ranboo defends Tommy and admits that he did help with the griefing. Sir, you have memory loss. You could have played that off so well. Tommy says that Tubbo only cares about being president and that he's becoming the next Schlatt. Saying that hurt me. Tubbo meets with Quackity, and Quackity says that he agrees with Tommy, but doesn't really want the consequences of speaking out because bad things will come. And Tubbo starts thinking about faking a whole banishment for Tommy. So therefore, he doesn't truly lose his friend, and Dream should be happy. Tubbo learns that Techno had been spying on them the entire time, and so there's a confrontation. Tommy is mad that Tubbo is choosing the nation over him, and Ranboo says that he'll talk to Tubbo and he'll try to put in a good word for Tommy. Tubbo also shows up in Fundy's panic room, and Fundy says that he'll be married to Dream on Friday. That entire situation is very strange to me, but also, okay, relationships just keep happening randomly in like the worst possible times. Tommy renounces Connor from his island, and Jack tries to tell Tommy to move into Manifold Land to have somewhere to be, and Ranboo agrees to help Tommy, so he'll be Tommy's bodyguard. December 3rd, Tommy rebuilds his house under Ranboo's, his bodyguard, and Sapnap tells Tommy that he can go to Mexican L'Manberg after he gets exiled, because everyone at this point's like, nah, it'll probably happen. Tommy says that he wants to restore the drug industry and get on Tubbo's good side. Why would drugs do that? I don't know, but Ghostbert, Sap, and Connor all help. Techno says that Phil is his only friend on his server, and his father. Admit it, it's true. Tubbo meets with Tommy and some other L'Manbergians, and Tommy apologizes to Tubbo. Ghostbert says that he'll follow Tommy no matter what. Oh, that's so sweet. Dream tells George that he should step down as king, and George hesitates on this entire situation because that was random, and Sapnap defends George. Sap says that Dream doesn't care about anything, which, somewhat true. So Dream pushes his idea to reinstate Eret as king. Pun supports Dream, and Sapnap and George, they just keep resisting. Eret meets with Dream and is crowned king again. This is witnessed by George, Sap, Quackity, Bad, and Puffy, and it leads to the dethronement fallout. George allies with Sapnap, Mexican L'Manberg, and they try to convince the Badlands to join them, but the Badlands are like, not our fight. We aren't involved in that. They secretly love watching the chaos, though. In Dream and Pun's attack Quackity, they kill him, and Sapnap says that he would kill Eret. But Quackity's like, no, that's a bit too far. Weirdly, you just got killed. I would assume you just want to kill the king, but whatever. Dream says that he's in the right to crown anyone he wants as king. But you know what isn't false? And he calls George a tyrant and a baby. He wants the king to be the most neutral position. Because you were definitely going to elect someone that was totally going to be neutral. Ah yes, neutral position. What lies and slander. And now the last day, December 4th. Sapnap expands Mexican L'Manberg, and Quackity tells Tubbo and Fundy that George was dethroned in the whole situation that became of it. And Tommy, Tubbo, Fundy, and Quackity need to discuss the whole exile thing. They agree to have a war against Dream, and Tommy apologizes once more to Tubbo that he was being irrational. They want to recruit Techno, because what's better than having another fallout between Techno and Dream? They confront Dream. Tubbo talks to him and turns against the L'Manbergians and exiles Tommy. Whatever happened to friendship? Whatever happened to friendship? Where is it now? Tubbo says that the cabinet members have been undermining his authority and that he thinks, wow, I should have power as president. Dream walks Tommy away from L'Manberg, and Fundy and Quackity argue with Tubbo and once more compare him to Schlatt. The post-banishment era starts. All right. Wasn't that exciting? Didn't it just grind your gears? Doesn't it make you question the sanity of everyone on this server? If you like this, do all those things that real YouTubers are supposed to say, like, comment, subscribe. I don't know. And goodbye.